in the next coming meeting. I therefore request that Mr. Boltina assist us in taking us through the agenda of the day. Thank you very much,
Okay.
over to you, Mr. Boltina.
Okay. Thank you, Acting Chair. If I can just indicate, honorable members, I think last week on Friday, in the evening, we were informed by Parliament that the governing party has made some changes in the membership of some committees. As a result, the chair of the committee, Honorable SOR, is now appointed in the Portfolio Committee on International Relations. And then Honorable Tande Mohammed Sala is a chair designated to this Portfolio Committee on Tourism, honorable members. And other committees as well, which are there in the ATC. Now, subsequent to that, we made some communications with the chair-elect, but unfortunately, she has indicated that because of other matters that are due to be submitted in the House. So they will be wrapping up those matters on that side. So we've agreed that the meeting to elect the chair formally will be next week on Tuesday. For that matter, and then we will inform the office of the House Chairperson as well. That election of the chair for the Portfolio Committee will be on next week on Tuesday on the 7th. In terms of the Rule 116, then we have to, if there's a delay in the election of the chair, we have to advise the chair and also seek permission to him to do that. So basically that's the thing, honorable members. I thought that as well, maybe the chair would be able to come over just to make a goodbye to the committee, but unfortunately it was not possible because there seems to be clash in the way these two meetings are, the timing of them. So basically that's our agenda, honorable members. And then the second item of this agenda is the engagement with the Ministerial Advisory Panel for Tourism Policy Review. Members of the committee will recall that for some time, members have been asking the minister, former minister, Minister Kubai, as to how far this process is. Minister has always been consistent, indicating to the committee that the process is well underway. At the right time, the panel will find time to come over and brief the Portfolio Committee as well. So the committee appreciated that. So this is that opportunity, honorable members, that you have been waiting for this panel to come over to the committee to come and present what they have done so far. And then also we can also make our input as well as a committee to what they are already doing. Now, the members will also recall a deputy minister last week put this matter so well in terms of the consultation process that they are also consulting the provinces and all of that, because so tourism is a concurrent matter. So we've got that opportunity today. The panel is with us. For us to engage with them. Then the third item, Honorable Chair, we want to also place before the committee the draft program for the third term that we have developed. And then thereafter, we can look into the issue of minutes, and then we finalize our agenda with just one announcement, Chairperson. Those are the issues for the proceedings of the day. Thank you, Chairperson. Acting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boltina. Do you have any apologies? I see that you've omitted apologies from the agenda.
Okay, yes, I do, Acting Chair. The apology, the first one, Honorable Chair, is one, we have received also the apology from the Office of the Minister. Minister has the bereavement at home, so that's why she will not be part of the meeting. Otherwise, initially, she was going to be in the meeting as well with this panel. Then the second apology is from the Deputy Minister, House Chairperson. DM is kickstarting the travel week since tomorrow. Tourism month is starting. So there is that program that has been prepared for him. So he is starting that program. So he will not be with us. The third one is from Mr. De Freitas. He will also not be in this committee meeting, Chairperson. And the final one that I have is also from Honorable Sitole. Honorable Sitole is attending the Portfolio Committee on Transport, Chairperson. Those are the apologies that we have so far, Chair. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay, if you may repeat, you said Honorable De Freitas, the Minister, and Honorable Sitole. Those are the apologies.
Yes, DM and DM.
And the DM as well.
Yes, Deputy Minister, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the apologies. Thank you very much, Honorable Mr. Boltino, for the apologies. Maybe if we can go to item B, I think it's engagement with Ministerial Advisory Panel for Tourism Policy Review.
That panel, Chairperson, is led by Dr. Bongani Ngulunga. Is the chair of that panel and is also on the screen. I think he will take the committee through, Chairperson, starting by introducing his delegation that is accompanying him.
Okay, thank you very much. Over to the chairperson of the advisory panel for the tourism policy review. Over to you, Mr. Bongani Nguluka.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning to members of the Portfolio Committee. Let me first just thank you for granting us the opportunity to brief the Portfolio Committee on the work that we have been doing over the past several months. And perhaps before I just give some introduction, if I can introduce my colleagues in the panel. There are the three members of the panel who are joining me this morning. Is Advocate Gumbi. Some of you may know her because she also participates in another structure in the tourism sector.
Recording in progress.
It's Miss Ramawela. Machaje Ramawela is also here joining us, who's also a member of the panel. Mr. Tolman is also another member who's joining us this morning. And we are also joined by the head of the Secretariat, Ms. Musa Ngiti. There are other members of the panel who may join a little later and others have apologized. All in all, the panel has 7 members. I do not know whether my colleagues in the panel can show their faces so that members of the Portfolio Committee can see them. Yes, I see Mr. Tolman, Oh, yes. Yes. Then there is also Professor Diana Abrams, who's also here joining us this morning. So these are members of the panel joining us this morning. Ms. Ngiti, I did see you. If you can also show your face so that members of the portfolio committee can see you. Yes, this is Ms. Musa Ngiti, who's the head of the secretariat. Thank you very much, colleagues. If I may give just a brief overview, and I'll request Ms. Ngiti to help us with the presentation of to the committee. We were appointed by the minister towards the end of last year as the Ministerial Advisory Committee on the Policy Review, and mostly to review the 1996 white paper. I mean, if members of the committee will recall, we've had really the white paper now for almost 26, 27 years. And there have been major developments in the sector since then. Some of you know, in the technological sector, there are some things that we take for granted today that were not there in 1996. There was no Uber, there was no Airbnb, and some of these technological developments have huge implications for the tourism sector. And there was a view that perhaps it is time that we have a look at the white paper and do a comprehensive policy review. Our mandate, in a sense, is to assist with the policy review and make recommendations to the minister, who will then take those recommendations through the processes of government and parliament. Over the past several months, we've done several things, and some of them will go into in detail. First of all, we thought we needed to do just the review of the white paper itself, and to see what were the major policy areas that it addressed, which ones of those are still relevant, and which others perhaps are new that we need to attend to. But we also thought we needed to engage in an extensive process of consultation, consulting with bodies that are involved in the tourism sector, but also consulting with structures inside government, because as we always say, tourism, in a sense, affects all spheres of government. And so we thought we needed to do that. And we'll show you some of the organizations that we have consulted. We have consulted experts in the tourism sector. We have also looked at international best practice. I was saying, for instance, in 1996, issues, for instance, of environmental sustainability, which have become so critical in the tourism sector, were not as significant then, and they are significant now. And so it's one of the issues that we have been grappling with over the past several months. We are at a process now where, having done the research, the consultation, we have started really just pulling together everything that we have had. But we thought, as part of the consultation, it was critical that we engage with the portfolio committee, partly to introduce ourselves, but also just to give a progress report about the work that we've done, and to solicit your views on some of the issues. And we do this quite aware that we expect that there will be some process, a formal process, where perhaps the minister will come to Parliament and the portfolio committee, perhaps with some of the recommendations that we have made. But we thought, as early as now, it was just critical that we engage with the portfolio committee to solicit the views. And we are still going to do further engagements. One, for instance, of the promises that we made when we consulted with the stakeholders at the beginning of the year was that we're going to come back to them, because at first we met with them, we listened with them, and then we asked them to give us written inputs on what they thought needed to be changed and needed to be improved, because everybody agrees in the sector that tourism is a huge sector. and that perhaps we have not reached the potential that is there in the tourism sector in South Africa. There are some issues that have come up. For instance, COVID has brought in the issue of pandemics right at the center. And we have to think quite hard, how do we make recommendations on the policy front that will be able to deal with these health emergencies when they arrive in the future? Because there's general consensus that COVID-19 is, in a sense, an indication of what is to come in the future, and that it has a huge potential for disruption as it has happened. And it is one of the issues that we have been thinking about. Just with those introductions, if you may allow me, Chair, if I may ask my colleague, the head of the Secretariat, Ms. Mosangi, to take us through the presentation, and then we'll come back with more detail later on. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much, Honorable Chair of the Portfolio Committee and the members of the Portfolio Committee, as well as the Chair of the panel. We are just going to cover a couple of areas. One, starting with the purpose, and then taking the committee through a bit of the background, and then looking at the policy ecosystem, if you like, the tools that guide tourism at the moment,